or under with Dr. J. The show provides solutions to any of your personal or work-related problems in under 5 minutes. We guarantee you will discover a new aspect of yourself, and you'll see others in a whole new light. To gain this insight, write your questions to JeRLIK05@gmail.com. If your question is chosen for a show topic, you will receive a free test, a free profile from JeRLIK.com, the most precise personality profile on the market.
This is Dr. J with JeRLIK.com, JeRLIK.com. Write us and take our profile. Now, I'm talking today about an article from Dr. Denise Cumming, who wrote it in Psychology Today. And we're talking about emotional intelligence. What is it? And I've talked at other times the positives. I'm going to cover some of that, but I'm also going to cover some of the dark side of it. Now, here's an example of how it works, and people have no inclination. I'm sitting and coaching an engineer, a PhD engineer, who also has a very high job as an elite programmer. Now, for years, he's so intelligent, this person, that he keeps coming up with brilliant ideas. And I have known him and followed him for about 20 or 25 years. And most of his ideas have come to fruition. Each one of them, he said he wanted to turn into an entrepreneurial project. He wanted to get the patent on it, and he wanted to be the one to spearhead it. Well, guess what? He never did. And guess what today? 20 to 25 years later, he's got another idea. And I listen to it as I sit with him over a lunch, and it's a brilliant idea, as was all the others. And when I ask him, why don't you move on this? Harold, why don't you do something with this? I've been listening to you and your ideas for 20 years. Now, he says, well, I'm too busy. I said, don't give me that. If this was really a burning issue, he's telling me how frustrated he is, especially seeing that someone else always gets it, and the money and the acclaim. And I said, this time you've got to do it. I gave him twice over several months assignments to write an executive summary, to give me the ideas and make it explainable so that I would understand them, and that he can give to others and raise the money to do it. And never once, he always said, I'll have it by the end of the week. A month, 6 weeks, 2 months goes by, he still doesn't have it. So I corner him again. He says, well, I'm a perfectionist. Well, folks, what is a perfectionist but someone who's covering up their inadequacy? He is actually paralyzed, frozen in fear, because he feels, I can't do it. He feels that the moment he has to perform, he's going to freeze, he's convinced of it, and it will not happen. And he uses it to beat everyone over the head as to why, his own wife even, why she's the reason why he can't get it done. Well, folks, the emotional intelligence is the ability to know and be able to discern oneself and others. That is, if you're married, if you have a partner, if you have a good friend and you're talking with them, obviously they all bring up issues and problems at one time or another. Pay attention to how many people really read between the lines and help you get to the core of it. He's been touting, this Harold, my friend here, has been touting perfectionism all of his adult life. But it's not the issue, folks. As I read between the lines, I see he's scared to death. The same man who got a PhD in engineering and is brilliant with his understanding and ideas is fearful of being able to perform for other people. And that is an element of not being able to see it and covering it over so he can't get beyond it. He lacks emotional intelligence. Now, most of emotional intelligence begins in childhood. It's the ability to be able to have a family that can talk and be able to share feelings and be able to help one another through things. The more that feelings are handled and talked about in an open manner, the more likelihood a child will grow up with skills to be able to discern other people's feelings and hopefully their own. And because the more that this happens, this is the most important ingredient in what we call maturing. Maturity is actually does not happen until there is emotional intelligence growing, so that we understand why we have our buttons, we understand why they get pressed, and we begin to understand that they are automated responses, that are patterns in our life, and we can see the core of it. Why? For Harold, it was outright inadequacy and fear that he will be rejected. This is an area that you must move in, must learn, and if you didn't learn it as a child, we can certainly learn it as adults. We do it all the time in our coaching sessions. So I want you to pay attention to that, because it is a very destructive mechanism in people's lives. Now, folks, it's good to have you here today, and until we meet again, take care.